Today we're checking out Puffin for his video, What It's Like to Run a Small Anime Expo Artist Alley Booth, The Cold Hard Cash in Numbers, which I'm certain will not freak me out because it involves customer service and doing math. Two things that I literally look at and go, nope. Yeah, not even joking about this one. What they're describing is the equivalent for me of saying, hey, do you enjoy sticking things that are sharp underneath your fingernails? The answer is no, you crazy son of a bitch. Why? Some people love it though. They absolutely love this. Hopefully, this is what's going to happen for Puffin because this sounds like torture to me. And if they're subjecting themselves to it, I hope they enjoy it. We'll find out. More importantly, there's a link below to the original video. Hit it up. It's Puffin. It'll be good. We know that. Let's get started.
My girlfriend has been going to AX, or Anime Expo, for
Oh,
over
his
a
girlfriend's
decade.
the one doing it.
Before it was just as a con-goer, but then she decided to dabble her feet into Artist Alley.
I hope this is a good video, not one of those, hey, see that horrible time I spent here videos? He's done both. Some as really cool conventions, some as, wow, I had a DM and game where everything was horrible. Yeah.
$600 for a booth. The question is...
Wait, how much?
But then she decided to dabble her feet into Artist Alley. At $600 for a booth, the question is...
I'm sorry, I thought I misheard. Did he say $600 for a booth? I mean, this is at AX. I don't know which one it is. I'm assuming there's more than one Anime Expo, but hopefully it's one that's big enough where you get that money back. But, $600, man. If it's for multiple days, it works out better. But, I mean, you're more or less saying, hey, if this is like a 4-day thing, you're making more than most people do for a day of work to afford to even come here for a day of work. Oy, and that's not even taking into account just other expenses. That's where the cold hard cash numbers comes in, isn't it? This is going to be painful. Oh, no.
Is it worth it, and how do we feel about it? We went for 2 years in a row, so some of you could probably suss out that if we went 2 whole years in a row, it couldn't be that bad, right?
Dude, you're on the internet. Making masochistic decisions is kind of a thing. I was going to say incalculable, but then I realized it's entirely possible and just kind of normal. Yeah, or you're masochistic enough to try it again. Maybe it's just a one-time thing. Especially if those were the last 2 years.
Right. So what did we sell? We had stickers such as tempura seal, ice cream seals, 3 small lives, capybaras, also charms, prints.
I need to see if these are available online. My wife absolutely loves capybaras. If she sees this, she will go absolutely gaga. I must find them.
Lots of stuff. It was kind of an eclectic set
There's an
of things for my
store.
girlfriend's hobbies. Like we had D20 Dungeons & Dragons dice shakers with little mini dice sets.
We sold out of D20 dice shakers, so I can't show them here. Instead, enjoy the stupid drawing of it. It looks kind of like it. Oh, that's actually really cute.
In them. But we also had Pokemon with small live.
That's a Pokemon?
One of the first conventions we went to was kind of at the tail end of the lockdown, and we even sold masks there with seals and bunnies on them.
Aw.
So a lot of stuff we were selling was from kind of my girlfriend's hobbies. And she also plays a lot of Magic the Gathering, specifically Commander. Her business cards had a capybara as a beast token. I don't think anyone got her reference, but that's fine.
Why wouldn't they? That's amazing. I said my wife loves capybaras. I must have this.
Sweetie. I mean, we tried to sell some Magic the Gathering or MTG stuff, but I just don't know if people understood the references. And it's also not in a place that they would normally expect it. So I think people were mostly just confused.
I guess because I'm used to the Techo anime convention where the dealer room and the artist alley are kind of intermixed at this point. You buy space, where there's space, they throw you in. And actually that worked out pretty well last time around. So you would have people right next to the shops selling Magic the Gathering, right next to the artist alley where they had Magic the Gathering related art. So it actually would work out better. If they were next to a shop that sold it directly, it probably would have gave them a lot of, I guess, what's that called? Blowback customers? That sounds bad. Probably not the term for it.
She made a set of each of the mana symbols like Sassy Blue, Hot Tempered Red, and Derpy Green. Our plan was to try and sell the mana symbol stickers. That way people could be like, I have this Jeskai box,
I just
so
want
I
them.
will get a blue, white, and a red.
No, I just want the
stick it on
stickers.
my
I just want the
box.
stickers.
But I don't think it quite worked out that way. Now, this might be...
I just realized Puffin's evil genius is. Dear God, Puffin, did you just make a entire video that is just an ad hawking your girlfriend's stuff? Because, dear God, is it effective? Why did you do that? My wallet is already in pain.
a little bit bold of me. But if I was going to take a stab at guessing how we did compared to everyone else, I think our booth sales was probably just below average. Why do I say this? Well, I mean, I don't have the numbers for everyone, but if I were to group us in our small area of sellers, I'd say about 4 of them had longer lines than us. Namely, they actually had lines, whereas we mostly had long spats of nothing, punctuated by 1 or 2 sales. 3 had about the same, and 1 group was selling worse.
Oh.
Of the ones that were selling better than us, we got to talk to one of the people running it.
Extrovert?
There was a guy there who would go to 25 or so conventions a year, sending out his friends to go to other events to sell product. I wouldn't be surprised if the 3 best booths in our little group were selling over $5,000 of product in a day. But
damn. But that's down to 4,500. Actually, that's just added total cost, so it's probably better. Seriously, though, some people, man, they like doing the extrovert shit. I can't. This is incomprehensible to me. I do not understand it. I mean, if I did, I would probably do it, but I don't. That just, wow.
this is all kinds of guesstimations, so take it with a grain of salt. Anyway, let's not focus on everyone else. The question is, what do our hard numbers look like? We sold, drumroll please, $1,350 in gross sales for the 4 days.
Oh.
So breaking that down, it's about $300 to $400 a day.
I mean, that's not bad, but $600 fee to start with kind of cuts into that a lot.
As for profits, going through each
and
of the products,
a hotel room even be there.
The charms are about $3 to $4 to make and sell for $15.
Not bad.
Then we have the stickers, which are about under $1 to print and sell for $4. So not bad. But by far, the absolute worst product to sell were the t-shirts. Because they are 1, bulky. 2, they have size issues. Like a charm is one size fits all, but you need to have multiple copies of each design for shirts. Then the profit margins are not so great. Like for us, it was $12 to $15 to print a shirt, and they sell it for $30, but that's full price.
And at that point, it doesn't feel like a discount, and you could get it cheaper other places who simplify their process so that they make it and sell it directly, as opposed to having to buy it, make it, because there's multiple markups added at that point. It just doesn't make it feasible unless your design is amazing, or you say, hey, here's some officially branded Puffin Forest merchandise, which it's not. It's his girlfriend's. He's there. So unless you wanted to completely screw around and subsume her entire selling ideas, yeah, it probably wouldn't work out.
We had a discount if you bought more than 1, meaning that you're not even getting the full profit on them normally.
Oh.
Do we love them? Yes.
They look really good.
Yeah. I mean, the problem is that...
honestly, they would have done better if they just said, bring your own shirt. We'll print on it right here, right now, fresh. And bring their own print. I don't actually know if you can. No, they have small ones that you can bring out. Not high quality, but there's the novelty of having it printed yourself right then and there with a roll-on printer that's like, whoa, that's cool. They're low quality, but having it done is so novel that I think people might go for it. There's almost no way in hell you can get the room for it at a convention, but it might be fun if bribe the people running the convention, let you have the space to do it in the first place.
If the margin is, let's say, 50%, that means that you have to sell over half of the inventory to even break even. And with a size issue, that can be kind of difficult to do.
At some point, you almost want to go, hey, we have these novelty oversized ponchos, just regular shirts, but call them a poncho, with arms. And then it's one size fits all because no one is going to be big enough not to fit in it. I know what I said. My size even. It has to be big enough that it is essentially, for someone my wife's size, a blanket. Also, that is the advantage as well, because if my wife is looking, ooh, a blanket, they will buy it for that reason. There's a lot of shirts she likes.
Since you're left with these gaping holes in your inventory around certain sizes.
You still got to stock them.
But the trick is that you just don't buy an even amount at each size. You kind of buy extra of whatever is the most popular size and then less of the outliers.
Large and small,
flipping it over, the best profit item by far was prints.
Really?
For pros, you have everything. For cons, you have nothing.
Why?
You can print a thing for just a few cents. And just one sale pays for the entire printing. They're portable, they're universal, you don't have to worry about sizing issues, and they're popular. Like, fans love them because they're easy to take home. Prints can also be made very easily. One day, we were running out of a particular type at the convention, so my girlfriend placed an order for more at a nearby Staples, and I went down and picked them up and got them back later that day. There's really not that many products that have that kind of flexibility. Like, of the prints, our best seller was...
Okay, I can see why that's the bestseller. That is absolutely amazing, and I love it. That is so adorable. It's baby seals. I know it's in like a steamed rice bun holder, but that's so freaking cute. As the chopsticks and like sauces. Yeah, I can see why this sold. I wonder how big it is. If that's carpet, that would be like roughly, what, this size? Maybe a little bigger? That's reasonably small.
Dim sum seals. I know some people were suggesting we sell mouse pads, which it could work. It's just that they're very bulky and take up a lot of space at the booth.
They have limited, probably up the price.
Mouse pad has the same bulk as a full stack of prints. And that mouse pad might just give you a profit of, let's say, $15. It's not worth the wait. And for our small booth, we really need to think about space considerations and availability. Our entire catalog needs to be able to fit into 2 large suitcases.
I'm almost wondering if at some point you have the easily stored ones, and then you actually give someone a catalog or a web link to get the rest, and you just ship it to them directly, which admittedly might be an advantage to some people, because on the one hand, you have the in-person aspect of, here's the prints. On the other hand, you would then have a way for people to get things without having to ship it themselves, which I know I probably would have considered, because there are a few things that did not deal well with transportation. Yeah. I'm not repressing memories of things getting shaken up or broken. No, it's not like this exact image happened. Not at all.
Because that's what we're bringing to the convention. Discounts were something that actually surprised me a bit.
Really?
On Sunday at the end of the day, we tried an experiment, giving everything a flat discount to see if and how it would boost sales. Now, the surprising thing about it was nothing.
Really?
Nothing happened. I was originally coming from the impression like, oh, if you price things lower than others, it's a way to drive up sales and pull people in.
It didn't?
Actually didn't work that way. When congoers are going around and they're looking at the items, they say, ooh, do I like this thing? And then they look at the price. And if it's not above whatever their bulking price is, they're like, great, I'll take it home. So let's say that you have 2 art pieces. One is $20 and the other is $5. You'd expect to sell 4 times as much as one or the other. But the reality is that the sales are mostly driven simply by the desirability of the item itself, not so much the price.
Because they're working on a different audience, where the value discount might be worth it to someone who wants something for a more immediate usage, but these are going to be long-term purchases, so the value actually is letting it increase. So it's more a matter of, do I want this and do I want it at this price, as opposed to, can I get away with buying more at a lower price, which is usually what a discount would do, like for shirts or food or various accessories, like I guess for my wife, makeup, that a discount is a major deal there because it actually does have a recurring usage. But I think it might also just be the people buying here. Like you said, it's the sheer, okay, this is what I want. This is the cost. Can I swing it? If yes, buy it. And yeah, that makes sense, because even at my own shopping habits and my wife's, discounts didn't really play that much of a deal in what we did at conventions, because we did the same thing. If it was good, we got it. If it wasn't, we wouldn't. And then that's very different from the other way of purchasing art I know of, which is fine art, where that is all about gouging. But at that point, it's basically... Some people say it's money laundering, and some people, they're right. Other people, unfortunately, come to the realization, no. It's rich people who like to show off having expensive shit, and having the higher price is an advantage, not a downside. Which actually makes you feel better about the money laundering side, because at least there's a purpose to that.
And in a way, it kind of makes it hard to compare product. Because I was originally coming from an impression that, let's say you have 2 jugs of milk, one is $5, the other's $4. The $4 one will outsell a huge quantity. Mm-hmm. But the reality is that the pieces of art are so dissimilar that they're not even considered comparable.
Although I think that's part of the reason there's a different comparison. Because he's going pieces of art, which are very subjective, where there's milk, which is milk. And while there are some subjective aspects with what you taste, what kind of variations you like more, you are going to buy more of it tomorrow, maybe the next day, maybe the next week. It's not a one-time purchase, where art, it is a one-time purchase until you want different art. You don't buy multiple of the same thing. And if you do, you are a monster. What is wrong with you? That is something you should get help for. Why? I'm looking at you people who just buy the same picture of the same anime girl and plaster the entire house with it. I've seen you on various YouTube videos about hoarders. You are creepy and I'm terrified of you. Please don't ever find me. I will scream a little and maybe cry. Yeah.
It's more like comparing apples and tires or whatever. Anyway, the big question at the end is how much money did we make? And the answer is probably nothing, if you include the other expenses like hotels and labor. But would...
Labor too? Really? I mean, normally you don't include your own labor costs because you're the one you're paying it to. Unless there's other people they had do things like at Staples. Yeah. And the hotel cost for 4 days might actually be significantly higher because if they paid $600 for that and they pay another $600 for the hotel, 4 days, 100 nights. I mean, if they got a cheap hotel, maybe. If they got anything more expensive than 150, they're probably about 600, and that's if there's not taxes involved. And then if they hit up just the supplies to make it, and honestly, they probably lost money. They'd have to have a huge supply already set up to make that worthwhile, and then to sell it as well. They'd almost need to do the entire, hey, here's a meetup with Ben from Puffin Forest. Come here and see him, and you can get these images half off. And we just happen to jack up the price in advance. Is that legal? If they don't catch you, yes, it is.
Did we do it again? Did we enjoy it? Yes, actually.
Oh, really?
Like, part of that is that Courtney and I enjoy going to these conventions anyway, and we just kind of view it as like a paid vacation.
Yeah.
There are other miscellaneous perks.
How is it a paid vacation where you literally just have to sit there and work? Like, I'm sorry, maybe this is more a me thing because I can't understand the idea of sitting there and doing customer service and not feeling stressed out. That entire thing is terrifying to me. Unless there's advantages to being there and not actually working the full 4 days, they might be able to switch off between each other. That would make more sense as well. So they maybe get in for free.
That come with running a booth. Like, you get multiple entry badges. You can use special entrances that let you bypass the crowds, and you get priority access to getting a hotel along with discounted rates, which were factored into getting in the booth.
That would apply heavily then, because what I was giving out for a cheap hotel, maybe purchased a year in advance as soon as the hotel goes open for $150. For a big enough convention, if they know in advance, they price in advance. No. It's one of the reasons I go to small conventions when I can, because you could afford them. And I'm cheap, so afford is relative, but if it's a good enough rate, that might actually change the calculus.
Anyway, I hope it helped to give you guys some information, whether you're thinking about running a booth yourself or curious about how the system worked. Okay, goodbye. Hopefully I'll see you at the next AX. Bye-bye.
What if they'll do another one? And which AX too? Let's find out. So I think this is video evidence that Puffin Forrest and his girlfriend Courtney are way braver than I am, because everything they just described, enjoying, I am terrified of. Sitting there, having to talk to people, be open and have customer service, that is literally just me going there going, if I have a heart attack now, would I die fast enough that they couldn't resuscitate me and then I wouldn't have to do this anymore? And then not even thinking it's a joke after a while, because I'm just sitting here going like, oh God, more people to talk to. And nope. Introvert problems. But all joking aside, that money situation, man, is rough. If they went there with just prints, they mark them down low enough that people could just grab them and walk away, but then maybe have a few that are higher up. They're a little bigger as the big draw piece you can get for an absurd price. Maybe the original for an obscene price, thousands of dollars. But then you have prints for significantly cheaper, also known as the art museum gift shop, where they sell prints of the initial paintings, but for a much reduced price, but still inflated for what they could get it for a normal price. Say $20 to a print, but you see it right next to the $1,000 original. That kind of comparison actually does work, because you're not getting a discount, you're getting the much cheaper print, but the value is in seeing, ooh, I get to own a part of this. You don't, but you think you do. It's kind of like NFTs. You convince yourself it has a lot more value than it does, as opposed to just liking the image itself. But that's more on the fine art side. For the individual congo, I don't think that's the usual calculus. I'd hope that's not the usual calculus. If it does, it's probably going to become very expensive soon, and no one will ever afford anything ever again. Yeah. I'm probably bringing in the wrong mentality to pricing, because I'm thinking more on how art is priced as opposed to how con art is priced. That might be a big difference. That said, Maybe it would work. I don't know. I've never tried to sell here, and I do not want to try because the thought of doing it doesn't matter if I'd be good or horrible at it. I would hate every second of it. They are describing my nightmare. If you want to scare me, just go up to me and start speaking in public. I will cry. Maybe not immediately or openly, but I'm just biting my tongue to hold back tears. It scares me. But again, introvert problems. Yeah. I say all joking aside, but we all know that's not a joke. Yeah. That said, I'm glad they enjoyed it. I'm glad they got a good discount on the hotel because apparently it's a big deal and might actually justify paying another $600 for the booth. Although you factor in not having to pay for the tickets to get in. I have no idea how expensive AX tickets are. That might be a very big factor on its own right. And if they treat it like a vacation, maybe it pays for itself at that point. So it's a net neutral vacation instead of just costing money. Looked at it that way, that's not a bad deal. Still scares the shit out of me though. So if you haven't already though, I'm going to cut this one here because thinking about public service is actually freaking me out. Speaking public money, nope. Otherwise, you guys know the deal. Link below video. It's Puffin. I actually really like this breakdown of the con experience in a way that I've never engaged with it. I kind of hope he does more like this because it was fun. If anyone happens to know where I can get some of the merchandise they showed, I want those stickers. And the seals. The seals were adorable. I want them. So yeah, I'll see you guys then. Adios.